Hi, this is Alexis from the Yellow Rose Homestead. So this week we are still focusing on soap. We got our Brambleberry order in, and I'm gonna make a video on the candy cane fragrance from Brambleberry. So that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. So I'm gonna start with measuring out my lye and my water. And then we'll start measuring the oils, get everything heating and letting it cool down. And then we will pour it into the mold and see what it looks like tomorrow. I cannot find my mask, so I'm going to use this face shield. Actually, I might leave my hair in it. And I recommend getting like a thicker glove than what I'm using, because I ran my usual gloves I use ripped open and I haven't ordered new ones yet. So we're just going to use these. And we're going to go ahead and get this measured out. And let it cool down. And let's get to it. Okay, so right here I'm measuring my water and I'm putting it in my glass container that I plan on mixing my lye solution in, because you have to add the lye to the water. So we're measuring 230 grams of water. Okay, so now we're going to reset our scale, get our measuring cup on there, reset it again, and add our lye solution, and we're going to measure 115 grams of lye. Now this recipe is for a 2.5 pound soap loaf, so keep that in mind. My hands really aren't being the steadiest with me, so excuse me while I have to do a bunch of repours and make sure I'm right. So now we're going to get our lye and our water, and we're going to get a heat safe spoon. So I use a little white ceramic spoon, and I put it on top of a heating pad. I mix it up and I move it to a cool, safe place where it will be out of my way so I don't accidentally knock it over. I give it a good stir and then I let it sit to cool. So now we're going to measure our oils out. So we're going to get 82.8 grams of sweet almond oil. Excuse my unsteady hands again. And then we're going to get 248 grams of coconut oil. And then we need 41 grams of castor oil. Don't mind me. Okay, now we're going to need 124 grams of shea butter. I am fumbling and dropping everything, it seems like. I apologize. Always scrape your bowl clean, that way you get correct measurements of each oil. Now we're going to get 331 grams of the pumice olive oil. And now we're going to get this to the stove and heat on low and slow, because with these oils you don't want to heat them too quickly. There we go. So here I dumped all my oils into a heat safe bowl. We're going to add our lye solution to it. Scrape your bowl clean again so you make sure you get all that lye in there and it mixes correctly. Then you're going to get your hand mixer and you're going to stir it up until you get to a light trace. And then we're going to section it out and get it ready for coloring and fragrance. We're going to get our red mica powder and then our titanium dioxide to make white to get ready to do a candy cane styled soap. Here we go. Right here I recommend starting with white and doing red, which is what I usually do, and I didn't right here for some reason, so sorry. So right about here is when I realized that some of my soap batter was starting to set fairly quickly, and so I kind of had to pick up my pace. I haven't added the fragrance in yet, and this fragrance has a light accelerant, so if it's already accelerating now, I need to hurry. Sorry I blocked you guys' view right here. I was really trying to hurry, but you can see how thick the soap batter is getting. Usually it's like a watery consistency, and I could just kind of pour them into each other and they mix very well. But this is already thick, soapy material. So I was just really trying to hurry to get it in there so it would at least set together correctly. And add a little bit of a swirl in there. I know it was not as much as I wanted it to be, but that's okay. Able to get my little spoon design on the top. Do a little bit of cleanup on the edges and whatnot, and then add my little Cool Whip looking topping to it. And then I put my little swirl design on the Cool Whipping topping. Look how pretty. Good morning, everybody. So this is day 2, and I know I said the first soap I was going to make was the coffee soap. Well, after I got the coffee brewed and into the freezer, I just couldn't wait to make a soap, and so I went ahead and made one. And we're going to go ahead and unbox that now, so that way I can get the coffee soap into the mold. So I did a candy cane soap. And this soap actually set really fast. You could see it in the video. So the acceleration was really fast, and I don't know if that was just the fragrance or I waited a little bit longer. The oils in the lye were just a tad bit cooler than what they normally are when I soap, and so I think that was more the culprit than the fragrance was, because it was setting before I put the fragrance in there, which is my bad. But we still ended up with a beautiful bar soap, and to me it just adds a little bit of texture to it. Now my daughter got up on the counter and she sprinkled some of the mica powder on top because she saw me do that before. So it looks a little sloppy because I let her do it, but when we cut it up, it won't be so bad. So we're going to go ahead and get this chopped up real quick. Guys, these smell so good. They didn't swirl as much as I wanted them to, but again, the soap was setting as I was trying to get it in the mold. So that's okay, because it still turned out very, very pretty to look at. And since it's the rose, it still has my roses, which would technically be the bottom because this is the top. So So it actually makes it look like there's like a little Cool Whip topping on top with the red coloring. So I can. So the end pieces I usually use like our sample pieces and stuff like that. So these will be our little sample scent pieces. And then these, you'll want to let these air dry somewhere for at least 3 weeks to completely dry out before selling them. So these will be available at the Band Market Day, the Christmas market in Madisonville at the Kimbrough Center, November 12th is when I'll have these available for you guys. So I ended up having like a little bit left over of just like the white color, and I didn't want to have too much white in the candy cane because I wanted it to stick to the red. So I made, out of my little molds, I just made these little extra bars. And on my personal ones, I like to keep the top kind of like rough textured. I don't know why, but when I'm scrubbing my hands, I like to like feel the roughness. So these are still candy cane scented, but these I keep for personal use. Because it was just like extra product of one color. Mainly there's a little bit of pink in there just so that way add some texture to it. But these are gonna go up and be our hand soaps for me and the kids. So that's why I recommend, if you have a loaf mold, like if you want to do the loaf soaps, I recommend still getting these because they come in handy if you have extra, or you know, if you want to just make an extra bar for yourself to have. So I think that's all. These, they smell so good. So this is our candy cane soap option, and it will be available next month for sale. Maybe if I don't keep them all. So thank you guys for joining me, and we're gonna get started on finishing this coffee soap, and that video will be out tomorrow because I'll have to let it sit. And well, I might release it tonight. I might go ahead and whip it up, and then if I stay up late tonight, I might go ahead and unmold it. So I only have a 2-pound loaf mold, so it's just why I'm able to wait 12 to 18 hours to unmold mine, and they still are like a little bit damp and sticky. Not too much, like they're still hard. I could wait longer, but sometimes I get impatient, and it's okay. But if you get a 5-pound mold, you really need to wait 24 hours before you unmold it. We are looking into getting 5-pound molds. My husband's going to build me some, but he's going to need to build me at least like 3 or 4 of them so I can keep making soaps every day and have like a good cycle of soap going. Because on this one, I can make a soap, empty it, make another soap, empty it, over and over again. On those, it kind of takes a while. This would be like a day and a half for each batch of soap, rather than a day. So, we'll see y'all in the next one.